Hi everyone, this is Steve Lubetkin from the CompuSchmooze column in the Jewish Community Voice with a quick video podcast tour of some of the technology sites in Philadelphia, courtesy of the Greater Philadelphia Tourism and Marketing Corporation, which took a press group on a series of visits last month to see some of the sites in Philadelphia. One of the newest attractions for tourists visiting Philadelphia is the lobby of the Comcast Center building, which has the very famous media wall. They've created a media extravaganza on the wall over the elevator lobby in the main lobby of the building. Anyone can come in and take a look at it. And there's multimedia going on all the time. It's a pretty impressive display of large screen TVs, and it's punctuated by these wonderful statues of people going about their business that are mounted all over the Comcast lobby. You have to look up and look around, and you'll see all kinds of things, including the old great Busby Berkeley routines as part of the video display. And you see the panels look like they're wood grain panels, and they fit right in until the activity starts. That's not really a guy up there, that's a video, and it's a pretty impressive one when you see the whole thing. So from the Comcast Center, we moved on to the main attraction for the press tour, and that was the two technology exhibits taking place at the Franklin Institute. Galileo, the Medici and the Age of Astronomy, features astronomical instruments, notebooks, and other tools used by some of the most famous of the scientists of Galileo's age, along with some striking portraits of the Medici family, members of the ruling family in Venice, who were also patrons of the arts and sciences. The centerpiece of this particular exhibit is a telescope actually built by Galileo. We'll see that a little bit later on. Many of the artifacts are astrolabes, or other instruments used to predict the position on the Earth based on observations of the astronomical phenomena that you could see from the sky. The exhibit even includes some working tools that were once used by the artist Michelangelo. And we come to the centerpiece of the Galileo exhibit, the actual telescope. It's one of only two that still exist in the world. It's never traveled outside of Italy. And here on the barrel, if you look closely, you can see the label that includes Galileo's signature. And this is the famous grocery list that has Galileo writing down all the things he needs to buy, including the lenses to make his telescope. We'll leave it to the Franklin Institute to juxtapose two ends of the scientific spectrum, the age of scientific discovery and the beginnings of exploration of the heaven, with the very popular Star Trek science fiction series of TV programs and movies that spawned a whole culture of science fiction fanatics, but is still, nonetheless, science fiction. Also at the Franklin until the end of September is the Star Trek The Exhibition exhibition. You'll see a lot of costumes, models, and other artifacts from the TV series, the 3 different TV series, or 4 different TV series, as well as the movies. Some samples of early phasers and other weapons. The first Star Trek communicator. Looks a little bit like an early cell phone, doesn't it? The early phaser from the first Star Trek, and Dr. McCoy's medical instruments. When you take a look at a typical Star Trek sickbay, you realize that the program and the movies were pretty visionary when it came to predicting the kinds of telemetry that would be used in medical settings. Some of this stuff looks pretty familiar even for today's emergency rooms. Some of the handheld tools that were used by Geordi LaForge in Star Trek The Next Generation. The handheld tablets that were used to control the power grids in engineering. From the instruments to a quick look at the engineering deck of the Enterprise, Enterprise D. And Gene Roddenberry is said to have resisted the idea of casting Patrick Stewart as a bald captain of the Enterprise, but it's pretty fashionable to wear your hair this short these days. And finally we arrive at the bridge of the Enterprise D, where even a CompuSchmooze columnist can live out his Star Trek fantasy.
Engage. Let's see what's out there.
In Philadelphia, this is Steve Lubetkin for the CompuSchmooze podcast.